This is the clip with NFL Week 4 contenders/pretenders. So we got a few teams up here that y'all can see to give y'all a view of the contenders/pretenders. First up, we got to go with the first team of the week, the 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. Are they contenders or pretenders? Let's start at the bottom. Let's go with Monray.
Oh, they're pretenders. This is not hard. This is hilarious, but they are pretenders. People need to actually realize the games that they've played. They had a barn burner with the Jets. We know they suck. They lost to to the Seahawks, who are actually quite good. Then you follow that up with let's see, who did they play last week? Regardless, another easy team. It slips my mind. Then you follow that up with a barn burner against Carson Wentz. Yeah, so their competition hasn't really been nothing to celebrate. It's played a bunch of relatively easy teams, and the one team that looked like a playoff caliber, they lost. So that makes them pretenders to me. They're getting more or less over with the easier schedule of people that they're facing. But Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked amazing. The Steelers defense hasn't looked amazing. The run game, not amazing. They just surviving 3 games. Sound like pretender to me?
Hollywood Sensei. Steelers, contenders
The
or pretenders?
Steelers. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Omar Epps' brother, Mike Tomlin. But I'm gonna give them contenders. You know what I mean? For right now, they 3-1. I get what Monray just said. They had played some, but you got to beat who's in front of you. You feel me? You know what I mean? Your schedule, you can't. They don't make the schedule. The league do. You know what I mean? So you got to play who goes out there on the field, and they won 3 out of 4. You know what I mean? And the way that division looking right now, Burrow out, Lamar and the Ravens, I don't know what they doing, and the Browns is the Browns. So I gotta go contender.
Uniqo Williams, Pittsburgh Steelers.
First of all, we got Perk Rogers back, and not just Perk Rogers. He was faded off that Guinness on tap in Ireland, and he showed you what he do. He take off on boys. He throws slants for the touchdown, and then also he gonna run. He running boys over on the blocks. I've never seen this man get this physical in his life. So with that being said, and just piggybacking off of what Hollywood said, 100%. Look at this. Look at this. This division is in shambles right now. I mean, they're in a bad way. Confidence is waning. You got a quarterback that's not there. He's gonna be gone for a little bit. And if you ain't got that Huntley boy backing him up, that knows the offense, I don't know what. Because if they pull out a light skinned person, and you know what I mean by light skin, they pull him. This offense is not created for that type of player. It's created for an athletic quarterback. So I gotta say contender at this point because who won test me?
But
Oh yeah, it was the Patriots. That was the other team. The Patriots, the Jets, and the Vikings with Carson Wentz.
Shout out to the Patriots. I guess we'll get into them a little bit later.
I gotta go Steelers by default. Why? Shout out to Murray for sending us a schedule. As you can see right there, that's the schedule. As y'all can see, Murray said they 3-1 because of how they play. Guess what? It doesn't get much harder. You got the
I
Browns and
would,
Bengals the
I
next 2
would
weeks.
defer that. I would go
Coach,
against that. Like
Coach
you skip the
Chargers.
Browns,
Coach
then you
Chargers
skip the
Bills.
Browns, Bengals. Cool. You have
No, I
Packers,
said the
Colts,
next 2
Chargers.
weeks.
That's ugly. You got a Bengals break. Then you have Bears, Bills, Ravens. Another 3 ugly one. And then you finish off when you playing the Ravens twice. That's not necessarily as easy as the that they played going 3-1. That's just my opinion.
But let's go with the Ravens. I think they got
Now we
Ravens.
know.
When I put them on there, like, yeah, their next 2 games are relatively difficult. After that, Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals again. That's 7 games, all that they probably would be favored, even without Lamar.
The problem is they're gonna be down 5 games.
You're still down. You're still
Possibly.
down.
No,
So
possibly. Then there's the other thing that people like got to remember. Their backup is Cooper Rush, who's actually a solid backup, all things
Nah, don't
considered.
do that. Don't do that.
He is a solid backup.
Don't do that.
He is a solid backup.
you
Cooper
say
Rush
that,
is
but
arguably the
Don't do
best
also
that.
backup in the league.
But don't
it
do that.
ain't just Cooper Rush. They down 7 starters on defense.
Yeah, that's the thing that killed them on the other day. They're down 7 stars. That's why I say, you can kill the next 2 games. They'll be lucky to win 1. But, like, do I count the Ravens out? This is probably like a question later on. But, like, do I count them out of the division? Absolutely not. Like you can run 7 games easy. Mind you, they bye week fall right in the next 3 weeks. So Lamar can come back after the bye week. They run 7 games easy. And then you play the Steelers twice. That don't sound like you out of the division race. Especially because I don't think the Steelers are that dominant. You know, they've relatively been able to skate by these first 3 games. But, we'll see. Who knows? I don't necessarily think the Ravens are just going to win the division. But do I think they got a shot? Yes, they have a shot. Absolutely.
With Lamar missing possibly 3 games.
2 to 3,
He
but
only
he
got to
got
miss
a
two
he got a
games.
bye week somewhere in
He
there.
got
All
a
right,
bye week, so he only misses 2.
all right, 2. All right,
I think it's
but
possible. That's on my mind. I just think it's possible.
could they
Who
be one
came
and
in for
five by
him
the
this
time he
past?
come
Who
back?
came in
They
for him
probably
this
will be
past
one.
Sunday?
If I'm not gonna lie, that defense is awful. And
Most
then on top
likely,
of
like it's a strong possibility if you want to fight. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
Now listen,
do
if
I
they
think
go
they got
one
a
and
shot
five,
after that? If they run the table. Yeah, I think they can make it if they run the table and then beat the Steelers twice. It's the
if
same
they go
Steelers
one and
team that
Don't you
five,
last
gotta have an
year.
offense? Don't you gotta? I mean,
Yeah,
don't you gotta have a
I
defense?
think you kind of hoping that the Browns might go because the Bengals not beating them. The Bengals look like
listen,
the worst
yeah, the
football
Bengals
team
we're
out
not necessarily worried about, but I'm just saying, like you would think, even with their lack of defense, their schedule is not hard after these next 2 games. Their schedule is easy. Like every
listen.
team after these next 2 games, they don't need defense to beat.
there. JJ McCarthy coming. Oh yeah, JJ
You don't
McCarthy.
even need defense to beat the next seven
You
I
games.
gonna
mean, I'm gonna be
you
honest. The
might beat the
Texans,
Texans. You
the
might
game
beat the
against the
Texans.
They
Texans
are
is
not
not
beating the
really.
Texans. Not with that. No, they can.
No,
I don't
I
think
ain't counting the next 2 games. I said after that bye week,
Not beating
they
the
could
Texans.
run the table. This realistically possible.
the
What does
way
that
the
make your
Texans
record? What does that
looking,
make your record?
the
Oh, go ahead.
Ravens might be able to get that one. Because I mean,
I'm not
They
saying
have
the
a
Ravens
second
win it.
starter on
I think
defense
the
and
Steelers.
Lamar Jackson.
No, I said let me
Derrick Henry got a fumbling problem.
no. I said let me be fair. I be fair. Like Steelers have a stronghold on it right now. I'm not denying that, and they are in the front runner to win the division. But do I think the second or third best quarterback on the squad with a whole bunch of easy games back to back can lead his team to make a comeback and try to take the division? Yes, I also think that's possible. Especially this is Lamar Jackson. We've
Uh,
heralded for the last 3 years. I do believe that's possible.
if they do that, John
Kind of like,
Harbaugh winning Coach of the Year. If they go
he
one and
kind of
five and come
He'll
back and
save his job at least. I'll say that much. If they run the table and take their division still, he'll keep his job possibly. I'll say that much. Unless they get bounced out the playoffs in the first round, then yes, I would.
that is true. Shout out to Derpy Entertainment. He said Monterey he worships Lamar Jackson.
If he only heard how I was telling Lamar Jackson is not even the second best quarterback anymore last week, you think otherwise.
Pookie Jackson is crazy.
Jackson.
Next up, contenders or pretenders. Kansas City Chiefs. We're gonna start off with Uniqo.
Man, I hate this. This is crazy. I don't like it. This is tough, but I'm looking at I'm looking at some guys that get to play against the Broncos. They get the opportunity to play against the Broncos and the Raiders and the Chargers. I think that there's always going to be hope if you're Patrick Mahomes. That's where I'm at right now. This out of conference play stuff. I mean, this might have been actually a pretty good. This might wake them up a little bit because we was worried about the Chiefs for a hot second. Um, but here we are, and I kind of feel like I gotta say contender. They were just there last year, and I mean, like I said, that division. I don't trust nobody in that division other than Pat Mahomes. So shout out to Gino, love you, brother. But
That man,
I
yo,
trust
Gino got
Mahomes.
7 interceptions
Oh boy.
already.
I trust Mahomes. I just don't trust. I mean, and I like Gino. Gino gonna be the problem in that division.
Monterey.
Bo Nix
Problem.
ain't you? You worry about Bo Nix? Okay.
No. Gino, he a problem, but I promise you he's not a problem for the other teams. Um, the Chiefs right now, they're contenders. Like as long as you have Patrick Mahomes behind center, you're a contender. I don't think nobody's gonna really debate against that. Their only real issue was that they were lacking their main two wide receivers. They got one back. They looked great on offense, or at least solid on offense. Against a depleted Ravens defensive effort. And then they get Rasheed Rice. That'll be another boost. They get their schedule relatively easy, which is crazy that we say like oh, Patrick Mahomes, their schedule gets lightened up. Even if they were to go down 1-3, they'll still be fine. I say the same thing for Lamar Jackson. People think I'm crazy. But otherwise, I think they're contenders, clear contenders. I think it's easy. They're the Chiefs. Nobody's gonna count at the Chiefs until the clock strikes zero, basically.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl just because I've been watching TV for a long time and I saw the same thing happen with Brady. Not for Brady, that is true. Brady started off like 0-2 and
We've
then.
seen the same thing with the Chiefs.
By the way, the fact that Patrick Mahomes been in the league 8 years and has never not been in the AFC Championship game is still crazy to me. So how can I'll get to that with my point. How the Kansas City
Yeah,
Chiefs.
contender. You know what I mean? Like Monray said, as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean? You're a contender. And like I know they look very pedestrian without the receivers. You know, no Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy injured. My son talking over me, but I mean, we seen Patrick Mahomes do this before. You know what I mean? He literally won a Super Bowl with one receiver being Juju Smith Schuster and fucking he had Juju, McCole Hardman, and Kadarius Tony. Like,
And
you know what I mean?
Kelsey,
Yeah, and you know Kelsey. I mean, now that he's reverted back to a real white American, I mean, his football productivity has dropped off. But I mean, long story short, you got Kansas. I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones still on the defense. I mean, they contenders, and like in the division, the only team they really have to worry about is I would say the Chargers, but I mean, y'all just lost to Jackson Dart in his first start, so I don't know, but
Hey
still,
man,
Chargers is still there. But I got they contenders though.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, every year he been in the league, he been to at least the AFC Championship. If he on your team, you a contender. Like that's
that
ridiculous.
boy Jackson Dart, man.
I want
He said yo girl is my crush. Yo girl, Justin Herbert is my crush, and I won
and then he
in New
beat you.
York.
Let's go. But
5 hour flight,
uh,
nigga. 5 hour flight.
Josh Allen has been 0-2 in AFC Championship games. Patrick Mahomes has been to 8 of them. Think about that. Lamar
well,
Jackson, Lamar Jackson haven't
that,
even been in one. These the people you compare him with, and y'all, everybody like to say who next. Beat the man who been to 8 of them, been to 5 Super Bowls, 3-2 in the Super
man,
Bowl. While most y'all ain't never been to one,
to be the man, you got to beat the man.
and ain't nobody touched him yet. So how will I ever doubt him? So I can't put him on. As long as that man exists and they mathematically in the playoffs, the Chiefs are a contender. Next up, the 49ers, Hollywood, contender or pretender? Y'all
I'm gonna
Hollywood don't
say
like that.
49ers. I want to say pretenders. I feel like they time running out. You know what I mean? You know, they had their chance. And I just think the injuries is catching up with them. You know what I mean? Purdy is hurt. No Debo Samuel. Christian McCaffrey. It's only a matter of time before he get hurt again. You know what I mean? I don't think what Jawan Jennings is out. I think they gave Ayuk that money and he ain't been. Yeah, man. They pretenders.
In a division when everybody is like 3-1, 4-0, so they're in a fight. As you can see, we got
I think
almost.
they Super Bowl window is closed. To be honest.
If you look at their schedule, everybody in that division almost still in it. So they're in a fight. Monray, 49ers contenders or pretenders?
If they weren't so injured, I would say contender. But because of the injury, Bosa's injury is horrible. That's a really rough injury. Um, Purdy didn't look 100% when he came back, slinging picks all over the place. Even with good Christian McCaffrey, I just don't feel like they're gonna have enough to be able to outlast not only their division, because Seattle and the Rams are both really good looking teams right now. I just don't feel like they're gonna have enough down the stretch just to be able to hold this up. They managed to get 3 wins. They lost the ugly one to the Jacksonville Jaguars that they really had a good shot to win. And
Mm-hmm.
now on a short week, they got to roll right and deal with the Rams. It just doesn't look good going forward unless they can get people back on the field or figure out a game plan to be able to handle us some more wins. I just don't like their chances. So I'm gonna say pretenders right now. Even though they got an easy schedule, it's just I don't know if they're gonna have enough. I'm gonna say pretenders right now.
Uniqo, 49ers contenders or pretenders?
I have to say pretenders. Shout out to them having a just just great coaching that keeps them in games. And that might continue to show. And this might go back to the Bill Belichick era where it's like, yo, coach is that guy. Well, I don't want to say that because we'll take something away from Tom Brady. But at the end of the day, I just when I watch this team, I don't trust nothing about it other than they have a good defense and good special teams. That offense worries me. And obviously they got some work done with a backup quarterback this year. So that's great. That lets me know that they got a great coach. But is this something that's am I really as a 49ers fan, am I really sitting there like, yo, my team got it this year? No. I can't sit there and lie to nobody to their face and say that if I'm a fan. I would just say I hope so. That's all I got. Because
49
it just I don't know. What just coaching is this is the first time in a while that we're seeing coaching really be that thing, right? So that's where I'm at.
49ers to me, contenders or pretenders. They schedule easy. It's a tough thing, but we have a team that I didn't even put on this list as a contender or pretender because I thought it would be automatic. The Rams. They also have a team that's really good, right? Looking really good right now in the Seahawks.
Contender. Contender.
We gonna talk about them later. Is the 49ers on the level with them? I'll be honest. I don't know what's
No.
up with their training staff, but every year I watch the 49ers, every main player get hurt. And it's happening again this year. And I don't think it's gonna change. I don't know what training program they're on. Despite how good their coach is, wherever they training program, the injuries, they get a bunch of injured players. I kind of put them as pretenders because even despite the easy schedule, I don't see them coming through and escaping. I'll start this. I'll start the next one, and I'm gonna do both of them because it determines the AFC South because ain't no other team gonna win it. The Colts and Jaguars, the 4-0 Colts. Hold up. Yeah, 4-0 Colts, right?
3-1.
3-1 Colts and 3-1 Jaguars. 3-1. They both 3-1. I forgot the Colts won lost at the end of the game because of old boy fumbling the ball. But they both 3-1. Do we got which one going to be a contender to win the division? Which one we picking not to win the division? I'm picking the Colts. I just don't have faith in the Jaguars. I'm sorry, they Jacksonville. I can't. I don't have no other reason to. So the Colts have to be the contender because I don't believe in the Jaguars. That's all I got for that. And we got a local, the Ursay himself. Let's go get some inside information. It is Uniqo. Coach.
So from what I saw, because I was doing my power rankings today, studying, showing thyself approved, and I had to make a couple of changes on things. But the thing is, the Colts were really close to being in that Bills, Eagles, Colts conversation. That's what it's supposed to be: Bills, Eagles, Colts, undefeated team. But it didn't happen that way. But I think they were that close to doing it. So with that being said, the Colts are 100% contenders. And when we did our preseason show, I said this. I said it all depends on what that Cam Ward boy do. We're looking at it. I said, is CJ Stroud, is he all right? Is he good? I'm not sure. And then, not even him, it's the organization. Texans as organization is just ass. And then I said it would come down to, is Trevor Lawrence the real deal? We're about to see this year. And then lastly, I said, I think Daniel Jones is good based off the eye test. I think he's really good. So let's see if he can do it with a different environment. You watching it, you seeing it, you witnessing it. So yes, contender.
What about the Jaguars?
Nope. Another AFC team is going to take that wild card spot.
He said they are pretenders. Monray. We're gonna
I
do
mean, our
both of
else
them.
team,
Colts
our else
and
team
Jaguars.
I'll
Contenders
tell
and
you.
pretenders.
I feel like I'd be like a harsh grader of these teams and things of that nature. Because I mean, if you want
One
me to be
gotta
honest,
make the playoffs. One gotta
I
make
think
playoffs.
yeah, I think both teams are pretenders. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you, but like if I have to pick one, then I'm gonna go with the Colts to take the division. The Jaguars' schedule is definitely a little bit rougher than the Colts' schedule is, at least up until like the end of the year, where the Colts have multiple division games, not against Titans necessarily, but like multiple division games against Texans and Jaguars and stuff. So we really don't see it until then. But the Colts, just because of their schedule, their team seems relatively balanced, and I respect them. They did put up a solid fight against the Rams. I just didn't like how Daniel Jones looked like when the going got a little bit of tough, couple of ugly interceptions, put the team on the back foot, when they could have really coasted away with that game a little bit. And then, of course, we know what the rookie wide receiver did. We're going to talk about that. But like, I don't like how they look in crunch time. When everything's cruising, they're cruising. In crunch time, they don't look that good, at least this one game. But the Jaguars have done that for all four games. When crunch time come up, they look ugly for some reason. They do stupid stuff. They lose to Jake Browning throwing 3 picks all over the place. So I can't trust them anymore. So unfortunately, I think both are pretenders. But for the one who's going to take the division crown currently right now, I'm going to say the Colts are definitely the front runners. Texans, they definitely still got a puncher's chance, but I got a Colts right now.
Fair. Hollywood. Colts and
All right,
Jaguars.
so division winner, it looked like it's going to be the Colts. I just don't believe in or trust Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? And I just feel like I just got to get this off. Ryan Thomas, dog, that nigga's a stud. But with freaking Trevor Lawrence in there, he ain't shit, dog. Like, so yeah, the Jaguars not making the playoffs. Colts will win that division. Texans is ass. You heard what Cam Ward say about the Titans. They ass too. He said it out of his mouth. You know what I mean, you know,
He said
with
that.
Ursay, with Miss Ursay on the sidelines, the Colts is, you know what I mean, and you see once you leave the New York Giants, you become a competent football player. So, you know what I mean,
That be
but
putting me
as
Eli
far as
Manning
the
playing.
contender pretender part, I feel like the Colts will win the division and go to the playoffs, but that's where it ends. You know what I mean, you know, they'll get that home playoff game and they'll probably lose to whoever. You know what I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
I'm gonna say
go.
this before we continue. If Daniel Jones swindles a second team to sign a contract, and then he goes and turns back into mode, bro, I promise you, I'm gonna rage at how is this magician swindling these teams, bro. But oh, my bad.
He learned under the tutelage of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Definitely.
Ryan Fitzpatrick swindled like 17. He played good for 1 year, get a contract, play like the rest of the way. Ryan Fitzpatrick used to do that all the time. He gon' that first year when he ain't paid, you know he going off when he get in the game. Soon as he get paid, it's over. He done. He swindled so many. He swindled. I think he swindled like 7 teams doing that. But how the hell we'll stay with you, and we'll have both of them. The Chargers and Broncos. Since we think the Chiefs contenders, I decided to put them together. That means one has to be a pretender, or one has to be,
I
or
think
maybe
out
both.
of these,
I can't call it. I don't trust none of them.
I'm gonna be honest. I think out of these two, the pretender is the Chargers. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And it's only because I feel like Justin Herbert, he, you know what I mean, he looking so good, throwing the football, doing all that, and then he just had games where he just turned back into, and I feel like that's what's going to happen. I mean, I trust Sean Payton and the Broncos more than I trust the Chargers. Like, I mean,
Mm.
he just started out a little bit slow, you know what I mean? But once they get that running game together, you've seen last night, you know what I mean? You know, J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, if they can consistently keep doing that, then the Broncos are they're gonna get it together. So the Broncos is the contender, Chargers are the pretender.
Or maybe both can be pretenders. Let's see what Monray thinks. Monray.
I think this is crazy that I feel the complete opposite of Hollywood. I feel like the Broncos are pretenders right now. And it's crazy because prior to the season, most people had the Broncos pretty high on the depth chart. Like, okay, Broncos, their defense would be. And mind you, it was all because of defense. It was never because of Bo Nix. It was nobody ever said, I think Bo Nix is going to be the one. No, it was like because of the defense is going to be great. Nobody ever said, and now we're looking and seeing that the defense may not be. Nobody's saying like no, because they had ups and downs. May not be as historically great. And now all of a sudden, like, oh well, Broncos, they might make the wild card or something. Like, no, like I'm not believing that the Broncos are just automatically going to pull it together. Bo Nix, second year, he hasn't looked amazing. He looked great last night, but mind you, this is against the Bengals. So
Going out.
I'm
you,
not
you broke
necessarily
up,
saying,
bro.
oh my bad. I'm saying like the interception that he threw against the Colts, against Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones pulled out the game. I'm just like when the going gets tough, I'm not seeing this great Bo Nix necessarily. I'm seeing it when they're cruising. Versus the Chargers, they had a bad game. It's almost inexcusable. I acknowledge that, but they have shown that they can beat everybody in their division. They've shown that their first three games was against all three members of their division. They beat every one of them. So for me, I can't call you a pretender and you can beat your division. I just can't do that. Yeah, can you have bad games? Sure. Yeah, Justin Herbert decided to revert back to playoff Herbert and, had an ugly game and Jackson Dart was able to pull out his first win by running through the defense. I acknowledge that. He had a couple of bad picks and everything. But I also acknowledge if you can win against your division, I can't call you a pretender. At least right now, 4 games out the year, and 3 of them you've beaten the Chiefs, which is a very good thing. Now that they lose one receiver, yeah, but you still beat the Chiefs. You beat the Chiefs, you beat the Broncos, we're calling the other contender a pretender, and you beat the Raiders. I can't call you a pretender necessarily just because you decided to, have a bread game and lop one up to the freaking Giants. Fine, whatever. But I ain't gonna call them a pretender quite yet when they've shown they can actually do good things. So and shout out to Quentin Johnston. He's revived his career. So I'm gonna call the Chargers contenders right now, and the Broncos are pretenders until further notice.
Fair, fair, fair. Uniqo,
Both of
Broncos
them,
and Chargers.
both of them are pretenders because simply for the fact that nobody believes they go into the Super Bowl. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all just gonna have a good season? Like, that's it. That's how I feel about it.
It's simple. I have. I'm gonna do the opposite. I think both of them will be contenders. I think they both will make the playoffs. I think all three teams in
Oh,
that division will make the playoffs. Isn't that the rest of them? The rest of the division, AFC. Last week, people criticized me for not.
Where the Chiefs at?
Some people last week, some people criticized me for specifically not having nothing but the Bills in the AFC Power Five rank. The only AFC team. Guess what? This week they still the only AFC team. I do not believe in the AFC at all. It's the Bills to lose. Chiefs can move up whenever they get right. But I'll talk about that when I get there. You'll see the whole list. But again, I think they both contenders in the AFC because it's only two teams that scare me. And if you happen to they play each other and you happen to be one, you luck up and win one. So I think they both happen to be might be contenders. So we'll see how that goes. Next up, we got the Seahawks. Listen, I'm gonna get a Seahawks contender. Why? They got a receiver that catch everything.
We
If
skipping the
you throw
pack.
that ball up right now, he catching. He down there somewhere. And if you throw it to him, he catching. I don't know how he catch it. You can overthrow him, he still running down. You underthrow him, he coming back to get it. If the ball hit one hand, he catch it. If the ball hit him in the chest, if it hit his feet, he'll kick it up and catch it somehow. Yo, my boy Sam Darnold, like, listen, I don't know how I keep finding these places, but I'm finding them. And they keep giving me a receiver that I love. So listen, Seahawks contender because I just think they're a really good team. Do I think they'll win? Probably not. But again, who knows? Sam Darnold still play well. I don't trust him in the playoffs, but last year he got him to what? Almost a first seed contender. Unico.
Pretender. They might win their division. Whoop de doo, as the young kids in Atlanta say, as they have taken complete ownership of that word, even though we've been using it for a long time. So anyway,
Technically, let's say the words.
but yeah, definitely pretender because they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. Like if they, I mean, you can win your division, that's cute, but now what?
Monray. Seahawks contenders or pretenders? I don't know if Monray here is right now, but
Uh,
so
connection issues.
Moss,
Wait, once
Moss.
testing.
Mas.
Oh,
Ah,
you
yeah,
good?
now we can hear you. You can hear you before.
Moss.
Yo, Mas.
The Pookie Lamar worshiper, as they is called. We can't hear you again.
I hear you breathing.
Willie Jackson.
Well, Hollywood Seahawks contenders or pretenders?
I'm gonna go pretenders. Yeah, I mean, I know they good right now, but we saw what happened last year, right? Vikings 14-3. Yeah, I mean, crazy season. They look good. They get to the playoffs. What happened? They got
Yep.
smacked. So, yeah, I mean, as long as that history is tied to Sam Darnold, they're pretenders. Yeah, I mean, and I like the Seahawks. Yeah, I mean, they got a good core on defense. You know what I mean? I like the two-headed monster they try to get on with the running backs with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, he nice. I mean, I fucked with him. He nice. I mean, Cooper Cup, he's an old nigga. You know what I mean? But he's still serviceable. But at the end of the day, this is still Sam Darnold we talking about. So pretender.
my bad.
Up with
Monray.
the old nigga reference.
Monray.
Uh, this is a hard one because I do think Seattle does look good as a team, but if they're contending for their division, then they're definitely contenders. I think they can contend for their division very much so. Past that, I'm with Hollywood. It's hard for me to believe you had a great coach in Kevin O'Connell, the best, if not top two, best wide receiver in the league, great two receiver, great running game, and you fell apart the last two games of the season. The last one of your season, the last one of the season, and then you fell apart in the playoffs. So it's hard for me to just believe in them when you have a slightly worse team than the great one you had last year. And so I'm just like, if they're contending for anything other than their division, a playoff win, a run, I think they can. I think they pretenders, like straight up pretenders for that. Anything past their division, they pretended, and we know it.
Fair enough. And we gotta give the boy the screen. Contenders or pretenders? The Atlanta Falcons. We ended it.
You know what I mean? Listen,
Kyle Pitt.
Completely biased answer. You know what I mean? So you know that now. But contenders, you know what I mean? You wanna know why? Because they play in the NFC South. You know what I mean? You know, our only competition really is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, yeah, I know they just lost 30-0, right? To the Carolina Panthers. But that game was a fluke. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you know what I mean? That was a blip on the radar for real, for real. Because you seen what just transpired the next week. You know what I mean? 30 plus points scored. You know what I mean? And then the Panthers got shellacked by the New England Patriots of all teams who hadn't scored that many points in almost 10 years. So, you know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean? Michael Penix, you got to understand this. Look at how many fingers I got up here. This how many games he has played in the NFL. All right, 7 games. You know what I mean? So he getting it together. He working it out. Bijan Robinson, arguably best running back in the NFL. And then you just look at the defense. If you ain't know, I'm gonna tell you. You know what I mean? Second in the league in total yards allowed right now. You know what I mean? Second in points allowed, 14 and a half points a game. You know what I mean? Ninth in rush defense, second in pass defense. You know what I mean? Listen, that's and also hold on, fifth in sacks. And that's the biggest Achilles heel of the Atlanta Falcons for the last 10 years is we couldn't get to the quarterback. And now we fifth in the league and getting to the quarterback. So all I'm saying is the defense had to catch up with the offense, and it did that. So contenders.
Monterey, Atlanta Falcons, contenders
Shout
of
out to the Hollywood Sensei, man, for having representing his team and everything. The Falcons are pretenders. I don't think nobody's gonna sit here and act like that. They're pretenders. The main reason I say is not because I think they're a bad team. Let me say that. I simply think it's like a year or two too soon. Anybody that is a rookie playing quarterback and you're not like Jaden Daniels or Brock Purdy when he stepped in mid-season, if you're not playing like that, I have no faith that you're going to be able to make any kind of deep run. So because of that, solely because I think Penix is just, he's a rookie. Like my man said, 7 games. And he hasn't looked amazing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody's really saying he played bad or nothing. It's just he hasn't looked amazing. No, he's looking more to me like a rookie. So I'm like, okay. So the same people that was thinking JJ McCarthy was going to lead the Vikings to a miraculous other 12, 13 wins for some unexplained reason when the man was straight wet behind the ears and quarterback in the NFL. For the same reason that I cannot believe in Penix just yet. So because of that, they pretend.
I respect it.
Mr. Ursay Williams. With the
I
dash,
had
don't
my
forget
scout
that.
team go down there and see what's going on down there in Tampa Bay, and as long as that boy Baker is out there making plays, I mean, Falcons got to be pretenders right now.
Fake show.
Shout out to Baker. You know what I mean?
I just right now, it's early in the season. I like the hot takes. That's what we do here. But like, here we are. We going. Hey, what they
Listen, just
say?
watch out for that defense. That's all.
I concur. Listen, I'm sorry how to listen. They
No,
young,
no.
they still
Listen,
got a young quarterback. I got
I
it.
told y'all it was a completely biased answer. I told you from the
I like Penix. A Penix show flashes though. He show flashes of a really great quarterback. So I do think he has a great shot. But they pretenders. Next